Welcome guys, and holy fuck what has been happening in the last 2 days, hours. Incredible stuff. Literally the biggest political scandal in recent Austrian history. Some people are saying that it's the biggest scandal and the problem and thingy in the entire history of the country, and I would say no, it isn't. I think the Anschluss was a bit worse, but anyways, what's been going on? Well, it started in 2017 when, or at the time, a leader of the Freedom Party, Heinz-Christian Strache, decided to do holiday in Ibiza, together with the leader of the Viennese Freedom Party and the leader of the Burgenlandian Freedom Party. There is actually no translation of the word Burgenland, which is a state of Austria. Anyway, the leader of both of those parties, local parties, went with him on holiday to Ibiza, and Strache and Gudenos were apparently invited to the house of a possible fake, now probably fake, but possible Russian oligarch, where they talked about some rather controversial stuff. Can't really talk about everything they said. It's a 7-hour long video, but they talked about, for example, giving state contracts to Russian companies in exchange for campaign money instead of to Austrian companies, which were doing those up until now, selling 50% of one of the nation's biggest newspapers, the Courier, to a Russian oligarch, which wouldn't have gone that well. He insulted the media by calling journalists Hurensöhne, which translates to son of a bitch, which I completely agree with. I think that's completely fine. Just a joke. But it's a very serious situation. He also then later in the video accused Kurz of having been involved in sex orgies, and Kern, the old leader of the Social Democrats, having done something with a black girl in South Africa, whatever that's supposed to mean. Not sure if those were actual serious things or he just said those like as a joke or something. But that was a weird little fact right now. I don't know what that was. Anyways, that blew up recently. That was filmed in 2017, around the time, about 1 week before the national elections, I think. And they've released it now, 1 week before the European elections, 2 years later. Why? Not really sure. People suspect it might have something to do with Jan Böhmermann, a German satirica, comedian in a way, who apparently knew about the whole thing since April. Anyways, the South German newspaper confronted Strache on Wednesday and then released it on Friday. And ever since then, there's been a lot of controversy, which has now led to Strache resigning as vice chancellor, the government collapsing, Gudenos resigning as leader of the party in Vienna, and possibly Schurz, the leader of the Freedom Party in the Burgenland, having his coalition destroyed as well. That's going to be announced on Monday. Right now, as I'm doing this video, Kurz is speaking. It's already clear that he's going to call snap elections. What's not completely clear is if he will continue government with the Freedom Party up until those snap elections will probably be in September. If the Freedom Party ministers will have to leave the government up until then, or can still stay until the next elections, and after those elections, the result will probably end up not having a majority for Freedom Party and People's Party. That we'll see on this Sunday, how that will come out. But in 3 months, probably 4 months actually, until September, when the elections come then, if they are called for then, Freedom Party and People's Party probably won't even have a majority. it will probably turn out like it did in 2002, where the People's Party jumped to 40% and the Freedom Party went down 10% to 16 or so percent. And then they renewed their coalition back then, but I don't think that would happen this time. I think it's more likely that the People's Party would come up to 40% or something like that, and then form a coalition with the NEOS, the New Austria, Neues Österreich Party. It's the Liberal Party, pro-EU, very strongly pro-EU, going in with the headline of United States of Europe in this election at this moment, or the Greens, which are the Greens. It's looking rather bleak for the current national government, if I can say that. Yeah. And the problem with those snap elections also is since 2015, the country's been in permanent campaign mode, constantly. Like since 2015, we had the presidential election, national election, now the EU election, and in between a bunch of state elections. And almost every state had an election since then. The presidential election was renewed 4 times actually, if you count the first round. People are sick of voting. I don't think in some states people have gone to the polls 7 times in 3 years, which is a pretty big thing. And now they're gonna have to go to the polls again this Sunday, and they're gonna have to go to the polls again in 4 months. Turnout is going to be horrible. It's going to be at 40 or 50%, which would be the worst turnout in a national election ever. Yeah, it would be the worst turnout in a national election ever. This government currently would also be the second shortest government ever in the entire republic. The only shorter government was, I think, a Social Democrat People's Party coalition government at some time, so there were only 400 something days. They at least managed to do 555 days. Our government that just collapsed right now. It's pretty bad. And yeah, that's that. It's a horrible situation right now. And I apparently am the most important person in the world to ask questions about this, so I've been just constantly been written to. It's really enough, although I don't even have like a fan base or anything. I've been written to for the last 10 hours, constantly being asked questions about everything to have to do with the country. Also, yeah, Strache also stood back from the leadership of the party, leaving it in the hands of Norbert Hofer, the presidential candidate, which I actually personally think is a better candidate. I was always said that Hofer would be a way better candidate, leader of the party than Strache. Back in the day, I was always like, I'm not gonna vote for them because of Strache. Now with Hofer, I don't have any doubts that I would like them. And Hofer has also been the more popular person in the entire party. There are opinion polls released of which person in the entire party is the most liked with the ministers and everything. And Strache was always in the minus regions, like minus 30% approval or something like that. It's done in a different way than just general approval polls, but Hofer was one of the only FPÖ politicians that actually had positive approval, which is very strong. Actually, similar approval to Van der Bellen. So, yeah. I think in the long run, this is gonna actually benefit the Freedom Party a bit, because Strache and Gudenus were both of them created a lot of controversy, and Kickel also did, who might have to leave the party as well in the near future. And Hofer is just generally less controversial, but still basically in terms of policy the exact same candidate. And generally nothing big will change. The Freedom Party will remain with its policies and people will continue to vote for it. They might just not vote for it now. They might collapse in the European elections and snap elections. They might go down into the 10%, 15, 16, 12% even. I'm gonna vote for them. Still, it's the good old Austrian jetzt erst recht attitude of saying, now especially, now I'm gonna vote for them especially now. Just because of how frothing at the mouths the leftists have been in the media all day now, constantly orgasming about the idea of all Freedom Party supporters staying home and not voting for the party. That's why I say I'm gonna go and vote for them. for the first time ever. I'm also going to vote for the first time ever. Nice. First time I'm allowed to vote, I'm going to have to vote 3 times within 2 years. But hey, why not? Anyways, in the long run, it's going to be better for the party. It's going to take 2-3 years maybe for them to recover. And Strache might actually come back to politics. And if he founds like his own Liste Strache, his own party, it's gonna be 2005 all over again. Pooh, but I hope that doesn't happen. If the Freedom Party manages to keep together and not completely collapse into anarchy now, they can seize on the moment and within 3 years be the biggest party. Because Hofer will be a lot more popular than any other Freedom Party candidate would ever have been. Kickel might be the stronger candidate in general, but Hofer will have the more general popular support. Now he's not leader yet, he's interim leader, but he's going to be approved at the next Parteitag. I'm not sure when that will be, but that's when the leadership election will take place, and I mean, he's going to win it. Yeah. There's no other candidate that would have as much popularity and success inside the party. Kickel is respected in the party, but even they know that he wouldn't have a chance as Freedom Party leader of accomplishing anything. So they're going to vote for Hofer. Hofer is going to become the new leader, and it's going to be pretty bad for some time, but we'll recover. I mean, look at the True Finns. They recovered really, really well from being complete collapse. And Freedom Party itself did that once before. In 2002, when they were completely destroyed. In 2005, they were down to 3% in the polls when Strache took over. He brought them back to 25% this election. It's not going to take as long, hopefully, because the party won't fracture like it did back then, but we'll see. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Have fun watching other videos and liking this one and subscribing to my channel. Also, thanks for 40 subscribers. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's very nice of you guys. Well done. See you guys in the next video. Bye.